Sometimes a speaker is worth its price. Sometimes it has the looks, the build quality, and the sound that justifies the really expensive price you're going to pay for it. This is one of those speakers, and we're going to talk about it today. This is the Elipson Legacy 3210 bookshelf speaker. Let's get into it. So this speaker here, the Elipson Legacy 3210, is part of Elipson's highest end line of speakers, and it comes in about 3 different models. So starts off with this bookshelf speaker, but as you can see, this thing's huge. It probably won't fit on any bookshelf. You definitely need stands for this, and it also has a couple of towers. I'll show them to you right now, and also I'll leave a link to the Elipson website so you can check it out yourself. This is the two-way bookshelf speaker with a 6.5-inch mid-bass woofer, and then it also has an air motion tweeter here. This speaker is completely handmade in France. The speaker comes in 2 different colors. It comes in a walnut color and also this silver oak color, which I kind of like actually. It's a really nice finish. The build quality on this speaker is excellent. It's really solidly built. Not much sound at all into it. Really well made. You could tell it's pure quality from Elipson. The frequency on this speaker, it goes down to 42 hertz all the way up to 30 kilohertz, and the sensitivity of the speaker is 88 dB sensitivity. So not as high as like some other speakers like Eclipse or something, but not as low as some other speakers that need a lot of power to get it going. This thing retails for about 3,000 euros. Over in Europe. In Canada, it retails for about $6,500, $6,000 to $6,500, and I'll leave a link below where you could get it. Of course, most of my samples here come from Altitudo Audio here in Winnipeg, and I get most of my review samples from them, and I'll leave a link below for you guys to check them out. So just quickly going over the front of the speaker here, as I said before, it's really well built, but here is the AMT tweeter, and then the 6.5 mid-bass driver, and then the nice logo on the front. This thing is really made as a high quality speaker, very solidly built. Amp pairings for the speaker. So primarily I use 3 different amps to drive these speakers. I use the very expensive but high quality Unico 150 integrated amplifier. I also use my reference amplifier, my Unico Primo amplifier, and also used a preamp and a power amp combo. So I also used the Elipson P1 preamplifier along with the TS Thomas and Stereo TS Galleon TS A75 power amplifier. All 3 of the amplifiers did a great job driving these speakers to satisfactory levels. Probably the best all-arounder I'd say would probably be the Unico 150, just because it has so much power. It gave it a really nice lush sound to these and brought out all the details. But also I believe the Elipson P1 preamplifier along with the TA75 really provided an excellent combination as well. So you can't go wrong with either one. Speaker placement for these speakers. So as you can see, they're quite big and they do have a large port in the back. So a lot of air movement would come out of the back of these speakers. So at least put at least 24 inches or 2 feet away from the back wall on these speakers. And the more you push them out into the into your room, if you have the room for it, the better they'll sound. Any kind of, if you place them too close to the wall, the bass will have too much. It'll deliver too much bass thickness, I think, a little bit of bloatiness, so you definitely don't want that. To get the best out of the bass and the rest of the speaker soundstage and imaging, definitely place them further away from the wall. The further away, the better. Okay, so as for the sound of these speakers, so the overall sound of these speakers, I think you could describe it. It has a really big, lush sound to it, but also has precision as well, thanks to the AMT tweeter. Bass is strong, but not overbearing at all. The bass has good clarity, especially when, like I said, when you push it away from the wall. That's very important to give these speakers a lot of space in there, and you're going to get the best bass. And the bass, I think, goes down pretty deep, not as much as obviously the floor standards would, but I never felt like the bass was lacking at all from any tracks I had, listening to, heavy bass track music and stuff like that. These things provided plenty of bass, and it sure helps if you have a really good amplifier like the Unico 150 to pair it with, and that'll give you the extra punch that you need. The mid-range to me on this speaker is supreme, thanks to the AMT tweeter. The voices and instruments is a thing that is a natural thing of beauty with these speakers. It has precision and clarity, and it gives a spacious soundstage all over the room, especially when using the Unico 150 amp or the P1 Elipson preamp with the Thomson stereo amp. I found that a really good combination as well. Treble, absolutely fantastic with these speakers. I've always enjoyed speakers with the AMT tweeter because it always gives me a lot of information, but never goes, too harsh or anything like that. And these things do a great job of that with the AMT tweeter. It just gives the right amount of information without calling attention to itself. It never becomes dominant. It never wants to, gives a shout out to, hey, I have a lot of information and I'm going to drive it all to you. No, it does it in a way that's very natural and pleasant, gives you all the information you need and never gets harsh or anything like that. The treble's really nicely rounded, and it never peaks to any kind of harshness at all. So with these AMT tweeters, you're going to be very happy with the treble with any kind of music that you play throughout your journey. So for speaker comparisons, I compared it primarily to 3 speakers on here. So I compared it to the KEF R3 Meta. Now these are all about half the price of these speakers, so I didn't have anything really on hand that was price matched to these. So I only have what I could use here. So I did compare to the KEF R3 Metas, the Triangle, the Triangle 40th Anniversary Edition speakers, and the Audiophysic Classic 3 speakers. All retail for about half this price, so around $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000. This speaker was the best all-rounder for any of those speakers. So every one of those speakers has its special qualities, their give and takes, highs and lows. The KEF R3 Metas were probably my favorites out of all 3 of those speakers on an all-rounder. But this even beats, I think, the KEF R3 Meta. It just gives a bigger sound stage. It's more, when you put on those speakers and you listen to this one, just gives a bigger presentation, more everything. The highs are a little bit better. The mids are definitely a lot better, and then also more bass punch than any of those 3. It just has one of those all-natural speakers that, if you give it the right amp, like a Unico 150 or something in that price range, it'll just bring out the best of these speakers, and then it'll wipe the floor with any of those other ones, in my opinion. And it should, for double the price, of course. So you're getting, that kind of sound, that kind of presentation that really takes it to the next level and gives it a step up. Okay, so to conclude what I think of these Elipson Legacy 3210s, I think they're fantastic. At this price of about $6,000, you should expect a speaker that's really good, that hits all those special notes, that hits the highs, that has good mid-range, that has good textured bass, and is also a great build quality as well. You need all that in order to justify a price that you're paying for it, and these do deliver that. There's really hardly, I like to nitpick and find something, at fault that I really didn't like about these speakers. I mean, looks are always subjective. If you don't like the looks of these speakers, then obviously it's not a match for you. But I don't mind the look of them. Obviously they can't fit on a bookshelf, but if you certainly have the space for something like this is the largest bookshelf speaker that I've ever had in my house. And definitely they deliver the goods for sure. Great build quality. Great sound, matches well with everything, plays good with all kinds of music, plays good low, plays good, and it can crank up for sure. Never ran out of energy, never felt like it was losing its composure when I cranked it up. It's really a fantastic speaker. So if you're in the market for a speaker that's in that $5,000 to $6,000 range, and you could afford it and you're shopping around, definitely give these a try. Give them a rehearsal. These speakers should definitely be on your short list. like to thank everyone out there for listening to this video. Shout out again to Altitude Audio, who gave me kind of a long-term range with these speakers. I've probably had them for a few months now, and I'm sure they're anxious to get them back, but I appreciate you guys being patient with me while I review these speakers. And I'll leave their links down below. Check them out. Leonid at Altitude Audio is always fantastic to deal with, as I mentioned in all my videos. If you get a chance to go to Winnipeg and give these for a spin, he'll try out any amp combination that you want with it and test out any other speakers within that range to test against these. It's fantastic. I'll leave that the link below. One more thing I wanted to mention here about the Elipson speakers is how well this thing's packaged. I mean, this is double box. Look at this. They give you white gloves with it. Options here for the foot pegs on it. I mean, it is absolutely supreme the way this thing's packaged. Has a full bag here that you put on each speaker to put over top. Really well packaged. Also comes with a speaker grill, which I didn't even show in the video, but it does have speaker grill cover. And yeah, it's just, the packaging is just really exemplary in my opinion. And of course, you expect this for the flagship speaker. But well done, Elipson.